Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2008 Chrysler PT Cruiser. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 4, down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here PT Cruiser because this is one of the most polarizing cars to come out of the last 2 decades. And so as a car reviewer, I feel as though this is a must review for anyone in the industry. So today, I'm sharing my take. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack for just $10 with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2.4 liter under the hood. It makes about 150 horsepower and is nothing really special. However, what was special is that they offered this with the 2.4 liter turbo out of the SRT4 models. So you could find a manual turbocharged PT Cruiser, and if you have one, please let me know. I would love to review one and come to wherever you are. However, the 2.4 liter in this car, the non-turbo, isn't really anything to write home about. It's not anything special. 150 horsepower is fine, but not spectacular. The interesting thing about the PT Cruiser is the fact that it's actually, technically, on paper, a light truck. Chrysler did this to have lower required emissions because light trucks don't have to be held to the same standards as regular passenger vehicles. So Chrysler said, yeah, that's a truck, and let it fly. Now that's not the first time Chrysler's done that. If we remember back in 1978 with the Little Red Express that I reviewed, that was the fastest production car to come out of America at the time because trucks didn't require catalytic converters. So Chrysler is pretty good at jumping through hoops. Like I said, paired to a 4-speed automatic transmission, it's fine. It's shifting, as it should. However, you could also find these in a 5-speed manual. Again, something I would love to film one day. Last but not least, of course, the PT Cruiser is front-wheel drive, and that's the only way that they came. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 main gauges. On the left is my fuel and coolant temperature. In the center is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer. These are very simple, very late 2000s Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram style gauges that I'm very familiar with. The steering wheel is large and has a lot of negative space, which is kind of interesting. A very interesting design. Definitely feels like a throwback steering wheel, but this is a 2008. To the left of me, up on the door, interestingly enough, I have manual mirrors, which in a car like this, I figured it would have power everything. It has power windows, but manual mirrors, interesting. Down below that, I have my lock and unlock and my latch to get in and out. Moving into the center, I have a very nice analog clock. I'm a big fan of this, and it looks very similar to the one that is in my Chrysler Pacifica. Then we have 2 vents and the window switches. So the window switches are actually here in the center like you would find in a Jeep or some European cars. Why Chrysler did this, I'm not really sure, but here they are. I wish someone would take the doors off a PT Cruiser. Then we have a pretty standard Chrysler radio from the mid-2000s, nothing really crazy there. And then I have my hazard switch and rear defroster and my climate controls, where to send it on the left, fan speed in the middle, and temperature to the right. Then I do get a cubby below all that for some extra storage, and I get a cigarette lighter that only works when the car is on, as is made known to us by that little key. And then I have 2 cup holders up at the front and some coin holders. Now these cup holders obviously don't pass the big friggin' bottle test, but we're not done yet. Then I have the shifter. It's again a retro throwback with this ball on top. Reminds me of the old Ford Thunderbird that I reviewed from 1957. A lot of this is very retro. We'll talk about that when we talk about the exterior. However, down behind the shifter is another cup holder, and it does, in fact, pass the big friggin' bottle test. The PT Cruiser, never thought I'd say the sentence, the PT Cruiser from 2008 passes the big friggin' bottle test. Then I do get more coin storage and a center console. The seats scream 1990s to me, which is weird because this is a 2008. However, I won't ask any questions. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2008 Chrysler PT Cruiser, and a couple of things to note back here. First of all, I do have my window switches down below and some fold-out cup holders. No window switches on the doors. Again, like the front, I don't know why they did it this way. Because for Jeeps, it's for when you remove the doors, there's less parts that'll break if you store the doors upside down and wet. So I don't really understand it. The seats are hard, but the space back here is actually pretty decent. Headroom, fine. Actually, headroom, fantastic. I don't know why I said fine. Knee room is fine. Nothing really to write home about. However, PT Cruiser is meant for personal transportation. That's exactly what this back seat feels like. Is it luxurious? No. Does it work as a back seat? 100%. Let's go take a quick look at the cargo space and trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the PT Cruiser. Pull up there. Tons of cargo space, and the nice thing is that it has a nice and low loading floor, so you have tons of vertical space as well. You have some shelves off to the left, some little compartments and things like that. Nothing really too crazy. It's not mind-blowing, but plenty of space, and actually for a car, it's very, very useful. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the other one does it too. You could actually take the back out and take the passenger seat out. It's very easy, and then you have a ton of room.
Oh. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and it's obviously the most encapsulating part of the car. Chrysler in the early 2000s, when this car was originally designed, 2001 was the first model year, there was sort of this retro wave going through the car industry. Chevy had the SSR pickup truck, a sort of modern El Camino, if you will. Ford had their Thunderbird, which had little opera windows like the cars of the 60s and 70s. And Chrysler had this. They also had the Prowler, but I don't own any footage of a Prowler. So you have this. If anyone has a Plymouth Prowler that they let me review, please let me know so I can have that footage. But there was this sort of wanting to style vehicles like older cars. This was sort of based off 1940s-ish with big prominent grills, hooping fenders, sloping rear ends that sort of cut off. This is very late 1930s. And yet it was made 70 years later. And so that ties into my final thoughts, is that this car is eclipsing. Everyone in the world has an opinion on the PT Cruiser. Some love it, most hate it, just because of the way it looks. It kind of looks blobby and duddy, and it looks like an 85-year-old man wearing a snapback and baggy jeans. But other people, like this car's owner, love this car. To me, when we were talking about it, it sounds like it's his favorite car. And so that's my ending point, is that that's the best thing a car can be. Because as we know, the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. I drive a lot of cars because of my career. Take this Hyundai Elantra from 2009. If I asked any of my friends about the Hyundai Elantra, what do you think? They would go, yeah, it's fine. But when you ask them about the PT Cruiser, they have a guttural reaction. Everyone has some type of reaction. They either go, ugh, or they go, ah. And that, to me, honestly, is a successful car. As long as it makes you feel something, anything, love or hate, just getting that reaction. The PT Cruiser has lived rent-free in millions of people's heads. And it's lived, well, paid rent in 1.35 million people's heads, because that's how many were sold between 2001 and 2010. Did you guys know that they made these until 2010? I would put money on the fact that they canceled this after 2005. But here I am, wrong yet again. So how do I feel? Am I in the love category or the hate category? I gotta go with love. Here's why. I think it's so polarizing. That's why I love it. It's like the controversial friend in the group. Yeah, sometimes they say some not good things, but sometimes they say some bone-wrenchingly hilarious things. You gotta take the good with the bad, the yin and the yang. And to be fair, I do have a little bit of nostalgia with the PT Cruiser. I grew up, I don't know if anyone else had this. I had a G.I. Joe radio-controlled PT Cruiser when I was a kid. And actually, the rear loading floor was where the batteries went. And I remember loving it and driving it around as a PT Cruiser. So whenever I see these, I get a feeling deep down inside of me. And almost everyone I know does too. Is that butterflies in your stomach? Or is it your lunch turning around? That's up to the individual. But for me, I welcome the little butterflies. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nigel for letting me take out his PT Cruiser. I'm so glad I could finally check this car off my list of reviews. And that was all thank you to him. We filmed a couple reviews today. The last 2 reviews you saw on my channel were from Nigel as well. Absolutely fantastic. Nothing but great things to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.